Hello, welcome back to Devi Daily Yoga, where it's not about how your yoga looks, it's about how it feels. This is a Somatic Yin Yoga practice, which is my term for Yin Yoga, where we're not being too still. We're not going to be Yin Yoga purists today. We're going to choose poses where it kind of feels good to move around a little bit, work out the stiffness. This will be a nice deep stretch. Let's go ahead and start, and we'll come into Child's Pose as our first Yin pose. Resting back in Child's Pose. Forehead can come to the earth. And enjoying this gentle introductory stretch to the lower back. And now pressing the hands into the earth to bring the shoulders up away from the ground a little more. And press forward into the hands to bring your spine back, to bring your tailbone back towards your heels more. And now as you inhale your next breath, you could lift your gaze a little bit as we're going to take it into a side stretching Child's Pose. Left hand on top of the right hand to the outside edge of your mat and settling down. And now here's where our movement really comes in. The left ear can come to the left upper arm and then opening the chest toward the right and then swinging the chest through the center, maybe over to the left some. Getting this side stretch and really working into whatever you're feeling in your shoulder on the left side. Good, and now let's walk it over to the other side. Left hand to the outside edge of the mat, right hand on top of the left. And swinging the chest side to side, rotating the chest from right to left. Right ear on the upper right arm. And bringing it back to center. Once again, press into the palms, press into the fingers, feel the tailbone coming back toward the heels. And now coming up through hands and knees, continue forward all the way onto your belly. And taking the chest down onto the ground, hands at either side of the chest and coming into a seal pose. You decide how high and flow it back down. So our exploration of the seal pose is going to be coming up and down. If you prefer to stay up, go for it. Each time you come down, you can take your hands to a different place, maybe farther forward this time. And just continue up and down as slow as you want to do it. And maybe the next time your hands come wide, like wider than the edges of your mat. And maybe the next time your legs come wide, like wider than the edges of your mat. And maybe the next time everything comes in, legs close together, hands close to the shoulders or the ribs. Keep on exploring 3 or 4 more lifts like this. Or maybe one of them feels so good you just want to stay there. Maybe once you're staying up, you can turn your head side to side. Take a little twist within your seal. when you're ready, slowly bring it back down. Press your hips up and back to the heels in child's pose. And just take a nice, easy rest in child's pose. And now coming back up to hands and knees and into dragon pose, taking this waking dragon, which is the moving dragon that I love to do, left foot forward. And the first part of our exploration will be hands on the inside of the foot. And again, you are invited to take your own journey or to follow mine. And let the hips sway side to side, feeling different stretches in the back of the leg. Do make sure you pad under your back knee if there's any discomfort, if you need padding there. And now taking both elbows down onto the ground. And dipping the right hip down toward the ground a little more. And then bringing it up to square the hips some more. Let's walk the hands back up now and place the hands on either side of the front foot. And here we can lengthen the ribs forward. And now taking the left hand on the knee, right hand a little farther out to the right, and walk the left foot farther out to the left. So you've got a lot of space between the left hand and foot, and twist it. Right hip dips toward the ground. And feeling the spine coming into a back bend here. So it's like the base of your skull is coming back in space. You could even use your hand that's pressing on the inside of your left knee to press the knee away. And now, optionally, bend the back knee, take that left hand and reach it back for dragon tail pose. Keeping that back bending action, skull coming back in space. Breathing. And now coming back to where we started, both hands on the inside of the front foot. And now taking both hands onto either side of the front foot. Moving it into the half split pose, stretching into the hamstrings now of the left leg. And relaxing forward over the leg. And here it's wonderful to shift the hips side to side like you're wagging your tail. And maybe letting the hips come back to center, whatever center feels like. And lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and then soften the chest down. And continuing with a nice slow spinal wave. Maybe the hands come a little farther forward as you get a little more side body stretch for the last few moments here. Really dipping the head toward the earth. And releasing to come forward into the lunge. And stepping back to hands and knees. Switch sides, right leg forward. Both hands on the inside of the front foot. Beginning here with some side-to-side movement of the hips. And now the hands on either side of the front foot. And now coming down onto the elbows, both hands on the inside once again. You could let this knee open out to the side if that feels good. And now coming up onto the hands for the twist, right hand on the knee. And again, you could make space here. Right foot comes out to the side, left hand out, so there's a lot of space to twist. Maybe this hand wants to push this knee away. Everyone's different, so your explorations might look quite different from mine. And the head can come back in space as you find this kind of back bend here. And optionally, dragon's tail pose, right hand comes to the left foot. And continuing to feel that twist and back bend. Head coming back in space. And coming back, both hands on the inside of the front foot. You could kind of square the hips again. Feeling this for another moment. And bringing the hands back to either side of the front foot, lengthening the ribs forward. And now shifting the hips back into half split. And as you rest forward over the leg, wiggling slowly through the hips side to side. Breathing. Feeling what's stretching. Maybe it's the back of the leg, maybe it's the lower back, maybe it's both. You could also experiment with drawing the toes back strongly and then pointing the foot. And now this wave-like movement of the spine, rounding through the back of the ribs and then lengthening the front of the ribs forward. And soften down, rounding and straightening, lengthening. Exhale, release, and inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling down. One more time, inhaling And exhaling down, hands can reach maybe a little farther now as you soften all the way, feeling the length in the side bodies. And this is like half butterfly if you're familiar, but we're just kind of in a different orientation. Breathing into the whole back body. And releasing, return to the lunge, step the front leg back, and come back into child's pose. Resting, breathing in child's pose. Coming up, hands and knees. Thread the needle pose, slide your left arm under the right, and into rolling panda pose. Your right hand is up above the head, palm facing down, and press the palm into the earth and rotate a little bit more, tucking the head under. As you take your right foot out to the side now, right leg out to the side, you have a choice of whether that foot's farther back or out to the side. And tuck the head farther under, farther through. And the movement here that feels really good on the upper back is to act as if you're about to roll over into a diagonal somersault. So you're pressing into these right toes and almost rolling, but you're not going over. And this is where the upper back and the back of the neck get this wonderful stretch. And you can also adjust your head and get the side of the neck more. Let the left shoulder kind of inch down away from the ear. And now a last option is to take the right hand behind the back, opening up into the front of the right shoulder. And unwinding, returning to hands and knees. Ooh. Wiggling the hips side to side, wiggling the head. And now let's take it into same thing on the other side, starting out with thread the needle pose, right arm slides under the left. And then into rolling panda, left leg comes out like a kickstand. And the head can now come farther through as we start to imagine we're rolling over into a diagonal somersault and pulsing to feel the stretches that are available here in the upper back, back of the right shoulder blade, back of the neck. Lengthening the right side of the neck if you'd like, maybe walking the right shoulder down away from the ear to get more space here. You could press your left palm into the ground and get a little bit more rotation in the left shoulder, moving it back. And then optionally, left hand behind the back. Breathe. And slowly returning, slowly unwinding, and making your way to child's pose. Resting in child's pose. Breathing in and breathing out. And lifting up now to sit in Dragonfly pose with the legs wide. Pad yourself as needed, something under the knees if that makes you more comfortable. Narrower legs if that's what's best for your range of motion. And we'll do full 5 minutes here of explorations, starting with the straight up forward movements. You might be resting on a prop, you might be resting down on your elbows. Noticing where you feel this stretch. Inner thighs, backs of the legs, back of the torso perhaps. And now let's veer to the right. Veering toward the inside of the leg, or maybe veering all the way over the leg. From here, staying over the right leg with your right hand resting wherever, as you rotate your left shoulder back and lift up away from the leg a little bit just to get more of this opening lateral rotation. And now let the head relax to the side and take this left arm up and over, and it may just reach and hang. It may come to the back of the head, or it may reach all the way over to hold the foot. Breathing into this length in the left side of the body, left side of the torso, ribs, waist. pressing down. Walk your hands back to the center, nice and slow, and keep going to veer over your left leg, starting out by keeping the chest on the ground, chest facing toward the ground. Maybe you're inside your leg somewhere, or maybe you're right over your leg. And now keeping the left hand on the leg as you rotate your right shoulder back, as you lift your ribs up away from the leg a bit to help rotate the chest open. And take this right arm up and over and see where it wants to go. Maybe just reaching, maybe hanging, maybe behind the head, or maybe finding the other foot. Feeling the stretch in the right side of the torso. Very slowly rotate the chest back toward the ground. Walk the hands slowly back to center. And walk the hands slowly in to come up. Ooh, draw the legs together. Come all the way down onto your back. Take a rebound 1 minute on the back. Feeling the effects of that little dragonfly extravaganza. Breathe. Bending your knees, hugging them into your chest, gently rocking side to side. And coming into spinal twist, maybe removing your ponytail if you have one like me, and both knees over to the right. You could do 2 knees on top of each other like so, or cross the left knee over the right. As we explore movement here, we'll start by taking the right elbow and pressing it down into the ground and lifting the right shoulder up and over to the right. This will bring us deeper into the twist. You can let your right hand rest back down on the legs. And now the head gently rolling right and left. And now bring the head to center And take both hands under the head, clasping the fingers as you cradle your occipital bone, so the base of your skull, and gently draw that bone away from the rest of the body. And releasing. Taking the right hand back onto the legs, and your left arm, extend it strongly out to the side, and now with some kind of a engaged arm, reach it up over your head. It stays near the ground. And continue all the way over as you roll all the way onto your right side, and bring this left elbow toward the belly. Roll your forehead toward the earth. And reversing this, so take this left arm back up, engage the arm, reaching till you come all the way back out to where you started, out to the left. And do this again. Rainbow twist, tracing the shape of a rainbow above the head. As you come over onto your right side again, you can kind of round it here as you bring your forehead toward the earth. And opening it back out to the side, slowly taking this journey with the arm. And slowly or gently breathing and relaxing here. Slowly now bring the legs back up to the center and take your time changing to the other side. Knees to the right, right knee on top of the left or crossing over. And now taking the left elbow, pressing it into the ground to lift the left shoulder blade off the ground and place it up and over farther to the left and farther up. Feeling the twist, maybe a little bit more after that. And turning the head side to side gently. Feeling into the neck and feeling into the upper part of the spine as you do this. Bring the head back to center. Take both hands underneath and behind the head, cradling the occipital bone and gently pulling up and away from the torso. Tractioning this wonderful length into the back of the neck. And releasing the arms. Take your left hand back onto the legs, right arm out to the right side and reaching out through the right fingertips. And take this arm up above the head, engaging the arm muscles. Rainbow twist, slowly bringing it all the way onto the side. Roll your forehead toward the earth. And arm comes back out, back up over the head. And all the way back out to the side. And continuing second time, arm comes up and all the way over, nice and slow. And bring it all the way back up, all the way back out to the side. And now just softening here for a couple breaths, relaxing back in the twist. And slowly bring the legs back up to the center. Finding your way into Savasana. Make yourself comfortable. Spread your arms out to whatever angle feels good. Spread your legs out. And we can even do kind of a moving Shavasana just for a moment to feel the snow angel. So if you didn't grow up in a place where there's snow, then this is what children do when there's snow, is make a little dent in the earth like an angel. And then your limbs can settle into whatever angle feels perfect for this moment. And after this moving Somatic Yin practice, which didn't have very much stillness, now come into stillness. As your body comes into this physical stillness, notice what's still moving inside. Notice the energy that's moving, the breath that's moving, the pulsation of your blood that's still moving. Taking the breath into the belly and into the heart. And exhaling the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. And settling into the natural rhythm of your breath as you let your body surrender into the support of the ground. And now taking a deeper breath into the belly and into the heart. And as you exhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And stretching out in whatever way feels good and slowly transitioning in your own way. We'll end the practice here. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.